Alright, I'm just going to make a quick update for Solana today because I went through this in depth on the live stream yesterday, and I've also made two very in-depth videos on Solana, the USD pair and Solana BTC recently. So we're going to make this a quick one. Starting off, I do always want to highlight with removing the data from your screen and just kind of acknowledging that we've had a weekly, or we're coming up for that weekly close below your 786 Fibonacci. So if we do not have a weekly close above $72, then unfortunately this entire uptrend that we are seeing right now on Solana is going to be invalidated. Finishing off with that, if I remove drawings again very quickly, you can see we are plummeting in price and the volume is exponentially increasing, which is indicative that we have further to go. We put the data back on the screen. You can also see these ranges that we're sitting at right now is literally your previous all-time highs. So if we do move, especially on a daily and weekly time frame, below $47, so if we have a daily close, weekly close below $47, we really don't have much support for Solana until we come back down to the lows of $20 to $25. And personally, it's not necessarily backed up by a plethora of price targets. In fact, $19 to $26 is actually backed up with these price targets, which kind of lines up with what I've been saying. I really do think perhaps $25 to $20 Solana could be on the table if we do capitulate into some bearish phase. And there's a very specific reason why I think that. It's because I look at the Bitcoin chart, and what do we have right now? We've got all-time high of the previous bull cycle, all-time high of this cycle. We're forming a descending triangle pattern here, forming a descending triangle pattern. Lots of fear, uncertainty, and doubt was in the markets back here. I remember being in the markets, and as we broke down below, everyone was freaking out. Everyone was freaking out here the other day. And then what happened yesterday, or was it the day before? Peak greed returns back in the markets. We're completely capitulating, but people are still saying, buy the dip. Luna's 99.999% down, but I'm still going to buy the dip. I'm going all in on the dip. People are still buying NFTs of monkeys for tens of thousands. People are still buying NFTs of shoes for play to earn games for hundreds of dollars. That spells to me peak greed, and this is exactly what we saw here with the altcoin market and the Bitcoin market. It was getting bought up back at that time, and the same here. Altcoins were getting bought up very heavily the past couple of days, and this is exactly what we saw here. I was back in the market here, and everyone was still saying, Litecoin to $1,000, XRP to $100. That's what they were talking about back there. In fact, Monero was a huge player back in these markets. There was a huge privacy coin stage with Zcash, Monero leading the races, and everyone was still buying the dip back then. And the next week, everyone ran out of money for the dip. Huge whale volume came in, and everyone got slaughtered. I think we are going to be playing out something very similar to that, and I've been pretty vocal on that for the past couple of days. I flipped pretty bearish on Solana quite recently, and since then, we're down a lot since I sold my Solana staking position. We've really landslided. In fact, we might even be like 40% down since I sold my Solana. So I do think we are going to get lower price targets. It sucks to say that. I do think Solana is going to be a great project in the long term, but at this moment in time, we're bear flagging to the downside. The bearish momentum indicators, or sorry, your momentum indicators are very much in favor of the bears right now. The squeeze bomb is heading down. We've just taken a break. Tons of bearish volume stepping in, and this is what we're seeing. Weekly time frame, it's getting very exponential. I think the final move below $47 would be the nail in the coffin that we could be moving down to $25 to $20. This doesn't mean we can't bounce. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Solana potentially bounced to $72, which is your 786, because we did not confirm this as resistance. I would not be surprised if we do something like that before we do roll back over, because these two scenarios, they don't have to play out exactly to the teeth. They don't have to mirror each other. I do just think they are going to be very similar. So I think Bitcoin is going to be breaking down into a capitulation within this month. Could be wrong, don't have a crystal ball. I'm just letting you know my trading plan. Within this stage, I am only going to be buying Bitcoin, and it's very obvious to me. I look at the BTC pairs for every crypto, and before, Solana was holding up perfectly, so perfectly against literally you know, every altcoin. It was outperforming every altcoin. It was outperforming Bitcoin. And then, you know, we saw this, you know, we came back down. We came back to the 618. Or, you know, to be fair, it actually shows better from the candle body. And the candle bodies are right here. So I had it to the candle bodies of this uptrend before. But yeah, you can draw them to whichever ones you want, really. Let's just keep it. Let's keep it how it was. So candle body closes. Where have we got? Oh, this must be the candle bodies on the daily. Yeah, I was wondering why it was being a bit weird for a second. But yeah, that's why it looks a little bit weird on the weekly. But you can see, you know, we came up, we had this rally. Came up to the 0.5, very nice, came back. This was your double top. That was warning sign number 1. We came down, we broke below the 0.5, we bounced off the 618, so still bullish. Came up to the 382, got rejected from the 382, that's a warning sign. We broke down, had a minor bounce, confirmed the 0.5 as resistance. Now we're moving all the way down to the 786. So like I said, if the USD pair has a bounce, we could come up to the 618. This does not mean that we're going to be breaking down in the next day or so. You know, bear in mind, these are macro charts. Like, do not be surprised if we do something like this before coming back down, because, you know, was this an indicator that we were bullish because we bounced for 1, 2, 3 weeks? No, it wasn't. It was a lower high and we rolled back down. So if we bounce up for the next couple of weeks, don't be surprised if we get another lower high and then move back down. This is personally what I'm expecting. I don't have a price target on Solana against the Bitcoin pair, but my personal price target for Solana against USD, if we do enter this capitulation, is for Solana to come down to $25 to $20. That's what I'm looking for. That's when I'd be very, very happy to buy my bags back for a discount. I'd be literally buying my staking bags back for, you know, less than... If we come down to 20, I'd be buying them back for like a quarter of the price. That would be nice. I'd definitely pick up double the amount that I had, and I'd keep the rest in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin is here to stay. This is what I emphasize in my altcoin videos. My altcoin trades are merely a way for me to accumulate more Bitcoin, and I think everyone should look at the markets like that, because who knows if Solana is going to be around in the next 10 years. A lot of these altcoins aren't even going to be around in the next cycle. And if you don't believe me, click on my channel, click on playlists, click on microdosing Bitcoin, the playlist, and click on Bitcoin is King theory, comparing 2017 altcoins, the top 25 altcoins of 2017 compared to the top 25 altcoins of 2022. You will be surprised, but only 8 of those cryptos made it in the top 25. Everything else either went down below top 25 or it just disappeared off the face of this earth. So I think it's got a very proven track record. These altcoins are here for a short time and they're here for a good time, and Bitcoin is here for a good time, but more importantly, it's going to be a good time over a prolonged period of time. Meaning, if you're holding Bitcoin for the long term, it is going to benefit you slowly but surely. These altcoins, they benefit you very, very quickly, and then they're hyped, they die out. I do think Solana is going to be still in the top 25 in the next cycle. I could be wrong. The data doesn't back that up though. You know, in fact, the data would disagree. The data would say, you know, Solana, out of all the altcoins that were in the 2017 cycle, it has about a 33% chance of making it into the next cycle approximately. So, you know, the odds are against your favor if you're hodling altcoins into the next cycle, because I'm telling you, if you're holding all of the altcoins in the top 25, you are not going to be holding all the altcoins in the top 25 coming into the next cycle. They are mostly going to come and go and leave. I do think Solana is a great project, don't get me wrong. I'm just looking at the data objectively. I like cheap prices, I like picking up my bags for cheap prices, and in my opinion, Solana is breaking bearish against both the US dollar and Bitcoin. So, you know my trading plan. I'm planning on buying Bitcoin. I'm expecting a capitulation to come in the next month. Could be wrong, don't have a crystal ball. This is my trading plan. So, that's all I've got. Volume predicts price. I mean, the volume says it all. I could have just made this a 1-minute video like, hey everyone, look at the volume. Volume predicts price. It's not time to get out of bed. That's all I've got. Cowboy out, not financial advice, and peace. And it would have pretty much echoed the same kind of responses I'm talking about in this video now. So I think we are breaking down. Sucks to say, I think cheaper price targets are coming. My price targets are between $25 and $20, but I wouldn't be DCAing if we go into those levels. I only DCA once Bitcoin decides to get out of this phase. So when Bitcoin breaks down, like I said, I was here in the 2017 cycle, altcoins did nothing but capitulate during this phase, and I imagine it will be the same. And altcoins did not gain any grounds back until after Bitcoin broke out and then consolidated. While Bitcoin was consolidating is when the altcoins started to move. Until Bitcoin breaks out and consolidates from this cycle, then I have no reason to accumulate altcoins. I do not have any DCA price targets. I DCA when the market says it's time to have a reversal. I don't assume I know where the bottom is and DCA, because I'm telling you, it can get a lot uglier than a lot of people think, and maybe I'm being conservative by saying a $20 Solana. We will see. Perhaps we could go lower. I would actually like us to go down to lower price targets, because then I would be DCAing at lower price targets. That's all I've got. I said this was going to be a quick video, but it probably took 10 minutes or so. So that's all I've got. Cowboy out. Peace.